Okay, so we are going to pretend like we are in the 1920s right now. And if we are in the 1920s, then 25 years before the 1920s means it's the late 1800s. Everybody can do that simple math. So, if we're in the 1920s, 25 years, late 1800s. During the late 1800s is when indoor volleyball was created and invented. And so, 25 years of playing indoor volleyball, it became really popular. They finally decided one day that they were going to take it outside. How cool is that? So, and it was very cool how they did that because when they took it outside, they were at the beach. So, going outside on the beach, playing volleyball was how beach volleyball became invented. And that happened in Santa Monica, California. Now, during this time, we are in the 1920s, and during this time is when World War I was ending. And so, the soldiers that were fighting for the U.S., they learned how to play beach volleyball, and so they took it to the other countries that they went to overseas, such as the Czech Republic or Bulgaria or France, any of those places that have beaches. And they played, and those people caught on to the game there, and so that is how beach volleyball became international and global. And so, with that being said, so during the World War I, it helped it become international, and also during the Great Depression, it helped people cope because everybody was going through some horrible, horrible things, and by going to the beaches and playing this game, it helped them like forget about all their problems for a few hours and just let them hang out with their friends and family and have some fun for a little bit. And so that was pretty cool. So as the years go on, we're going to not be in the 1920s anymore. We're going to move up into the 1930s. And during the 1930s, this game started becoming a little bit more serious. So they added rules to it, obviously, as most games have rules to them. So they added some rules. And they were playing with 6-on-6 at first, just like indoor volleyball. But then they decided that they wanted beach volleyball to be different. So beach volleyball is 2-on-2. And so that rule became about in the 1930s. And when that rule came about, all these teams started gathering, and they decided to have tournaments for them. And at first, these tournaments were just for fun. Nobody won anything. And then they were like, why don't we have a prize for these kinds of tournaments? And people can pay to enter the tournaments and all kinds of stuff like that. So during the 1940s, as we move on, they start doing tournaments for money. And as this continues to grow and become more and more popular, beach volleyball became as popular as surfing in California. And surfing in California, if you don't know, is very, very popular. So beach volleyball just being started was a very big deal that it was so popular as surfing. And so as the years go on and beach volleyball keeps getting more and more competitive, and then other countries start doing tournaments, and everybody's having tournaments and getting very competitive in this, then it spiked the interest of the Olympic people. And so they decided that in 1992 they were going to have a trial run for beach volleyball during the Olympic Games, and it was a big success. So during the next Olympics was when beach volleyball actually became a sport and you could win medals for it. And so that happened during 1996 was when the first Olympic Games that had beach volleyball in them. And of course the U.S. entered those games and participated in the beach volleyball. And turns out the first year that it happened, our men's U.S. beach volleyball team won gold and silver that year. The women didn't place that year, but the men won gold and silver, which was a huge deal for it being the first year that sport was in the Olympic Games. And also, the women, they did end up eventually winning a gold medal in 2004. And the women that won in 2004, they were Carrie Walsh and Misty May. And those two girls have played in 2 more Olympics, and so they won the gold in 2004, and then 2 more Olympic Games after that, they won the gold medal also for that too. So in total, 3 straight Olympics in a row, they won the gold medals. 3 years, or not 3 years, obviously. 3 Olympic Games, they won all 3 gold medals. And that is pretty cool because the men, they were different men every time, but these 2 girls, they won 3 different times in a row. And I thought that was very, very interesting. And also, just so you know, beach volleyball, it doesn't have to be competitive. It is competitive, obviously, but all sports are, aren't they? But also, you can have lots of fun playing beach volleyball if you just go to the lake or go to the beach and just play around with your friends, play some music, have some food. It can be a very entertaining outdoor activity to do. and I hope that maybe it interests you. Okay?